I had bad acne for almost a decade, the kind where you would go to the beach with layers of foundation on that would end up melting off, and all your beautiful cysts would be there to shine to the world on your cheeks and jawline. I would go to bed, this is my bed, with makeup on if I was having a sleepover with friends or if I was with my man, because I didn't want them to see how bad my acne actually was. Even better, when I finally would muster up the courage to make a doctor appointment, they would look at my skin for about 5 seconds and they would try to prescribe Accutane, spironolactone, birth control. If I was lucky enough for them to do hormone labs, everything would come back as normal. And they would usually say to me that nutrition and lifestyle and hormones had nothing to do with my acne. And then after every appointment, I would be in my car, probably crying and very frustrated because I went to who I thought would help me, but I left with no answers, no solutions, and a $300 to $1,000 bill. So how did I finally clear my skin for good? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bailey. I'm a women's nutritionist and personal trainer, and I partner with a lab and a functional doctor so that I can provide my hormones more of a functional lens and functional hormone testing so they can do things like clear their skin, heal their periods, and build fit, healthy bodies that they are so confident in. I'll show you how bad my acne was. I know my skin now is clear minus this one little zit. I specifically wore minimal makeup today because I wanted to show you what is possible. But my skin, for almost a decade, we have Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C, Exhibit D. This could go on. I could show you so many photos of how bad my skin was. And I tried every single thing that you could possibly think of or that you are currently trying to do to clear your skin. I would get done facials. I would try pretty much every skincare product that if I was scrolling TikTok or Instagram, if a girl said it helped her clear her skin, I would buy it, which switching your skincare products will make your skin worse. Going gluten-free, going dairy-free. I even tried going nuts, egg, and sugar-free while being vegan. I practically ate nothing, and I was an almond mom, but at age 21. I find that a lot of women who are trying to clear their acne cut out so many foods because they don't know what's wrong. So they're just scrambling, trying everything, and they almost become afraid of food, and it gives honestly, like orthorexic vibes. And of course, going to the dermatologist or the doctor. I was gonna say the dentist, not the dentist. Of course I go to the dentist, but the dermatologist and the doctor. Now, I know I come off as someone who poo-poos on Western medicine, but I do think there are good doctors, there are good dermatologists, and they're usually the doctors who have a 50-50 mindset of Western medicine and functional medicine. Of course, there is a place and time where Western medicine is needed. I think certain prescriptions and topicals are great at helping inflammation and the current acne on your face and with scarring, but no medication is gonna fix a deeply rooted hormonal or gut health issue. Only nutrition and lifestyle and fitness changes are going to do that. When I would go to the dermatologist, I tried antibiotics, which made me feel so weird. I was only on those short term. I did spironolactone off and on for years. It worked when I was on spironolactone, but when I got off of it, my acne would come back with vengeance. Spironolactone helps suppress androgen levels in your body, so your skin gets clearer, but then when you get off of it, what happens? Your androgen levels come back up, which you can't fix naturally. Same thing with birth control. I was on and off birth control 5 times. My skin would be beautiful on birth control. Again, suppresses your androgen levels, manipulates your estrogen and progesterone. I would get off of it and bam, 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 my skin would come back with vengeance. And what I wish I never did was run back to spironolactone, run back to birth control, because it is possible to clear your skin naturally. It took me probably, 4 to 5 years, but that's because I didn't have anyone like myself to help me. I was doing so much trial and error. I was cutting out gluten, cutting out dairy, doing all these things because I didn't actually know what the root cause of my acne was. Now, luckily, I never went on Accutane. I actually went to the doctor to do Accutane, and I even signed the waiver, but my insurance didn't cover it. It was about $800 a month out of pocket for 6 months for a round, which was crazy to me. And now, years later, I have so many clients who come to me who have been on multiple rounds of Accutane and their skin came back with vengeance years later. Maybe it was clear that year, maybe the next year, but then their acne came back. I know it works for some people. I know there's gonna be my Accutane defenders. And if it works for you, I love that. A lot of these topicals and prescriptions, of course, are the people that it does help, but if it helped everyone would go on it and they'd have clear skin. I wouldn't have dozens of clients that I've helped clear their skin naturally where those things did not work for them long-term because they had a deeper rooted issue. So what finally changed things for me? Number one was getting done functional testing. I got done a Dutch map. This is the same kind of functional testing I offer for my clients who work with me. I specifically looked at my progesterone, estrogen, DHEA, testosterone, 4 points of cortisol throughout the day, and how my liver metabolizes those hormones. It finally told me what was wrong. And at the same time, I did a little experiment where I also got done blood hormone testing, and those blood labs told me that everything was fine, when obviously it wasn't. And that so many of my clients are in that position, but my functional hormone test, my Dutch test, finally showed me what was off. For me personally now, this may not be what is wrong for you and causing your acne. It was low progesterone, high estrogen, so an estrogen dominant profile. My cortisol was all over the place. I had really high free cortisol and it was just wackadoodle all throughout the day. And then although my testosterone was normal, a metabolite of it with a super long name was high, which is tied to irregular cycles and acne. So your testosterone, DHA androgens could be normal, and this is what blood labs usually don't catch, but it can metabolize into other androgen levels that are higher that are causing acne, irregular periods, etc. Also have a PCOS diagnosis, an endometriosis diagnosis, so everything kind of made sense. And with PCOS, most women with PCOS, now called PMOS, have insulin resistance, so I knew that I also had to focus on blood sugar. So from there, I had an actual direction. I had actual answers that I could take and run with to clear my skin. I knew that spironolactone and birth control and antibiotics weren't going to fix that. And what was going to fix that was going to start in the kitchen. There were 3 main nutrition changes that I made to help me clear my skin. Remember, this is based off of my hormone testing, so it may not be the same for you. Number 1 was eating more. I am a 5'9"-ish girly. I'm tall, I'm very active. I need to be eating over 2,000 calories, especially when my hormones were struggling. I needed to eat more. I shouldn't have been dieting or in a deficit. So I really had to focus on nourishing my body. For me, what did that look like? It was a classic 80-20, 80% whole foods, 20% soul foods, I call them fun foods, not being afraid of eating gluten, dairy, sugar, not going crazy on them, but eating them in moderation, and eating fruits, veggies, complete proteins, really having a balanced diet. Number 2, my acne was giving diabetes of the skin. Blood sugar and insulin resistance had a role to play. So I focused on eating lower glycemic index and glycemic load foods. So for example, instead of just like your standard white bread, eating, this is falling out of my hands, eating sourdough or like Ezekiel bread, which is a lower glycemic load. And instead of eating white potatoes and white rice, eating things like sweet potatoes and wild rice, which has a lower glycemic index, spikes my blood sugar less. I was a vegan/vegetarian for about 5 years. And although I made the argument at the time I got in enough protein, I definitely didn't. So although you can while being vegan and vegetarian, I didn't. So I had to focus on getting in more complete protein. So things like salmon, steak, chicken, eggs. And then also more fiber, things like avocados, sweet potatoes, chia seeds, because protein and fiber helps balance your blood sugar. Number 3, my liver was struggling from partying. I did a lot of partying in my early to mid 20s. And I'm not saying you can't ever drink, but I had to really take a look at my alcohol intake, cut my drinking down to only 1 to 3-ish drinks max a week. And then also support my liver through hydration, eating things like cruciferous veggies, so broccoli, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, as well as drinking dandelion root tea, which is really supportive for our liver. Our liver naturally detoxes our body. It is our main hormone metabolizer. It is so important no matter what the heck's going on hormonally. Number 4, supplements. I'm not even gonna show you what I take because people with acne or any issue in life, they run to supplements first before really having a good foundation. Eating whole foods, more complete protein, more fiber, nourishing your body, getting enough sleep and water. I did have a few supplements targeted towards my unique hormone test that I only took from 3 to 6 for like 3 to 6-ish months. And that was it. So I'm not even gonna mention supplements because that shouldn't be the first thing on your mind. Now, I know these things are personal to me, but almost every single one of my clients has benefited from nourishing their body, supporting their liver, and balancing their blood sugar. So you can take a few notes from what I just said. Lastly, looking at my lifestyle, we're back in my bed because in college, when my skin was its worst, I was averaging about 5 hours of sleep a night because just college, partying way too much, and I worked a lot of jobs. Now I sleep about 7 to 8 hours a night, which helps so much with my cortisol, adrenals, which affects all the other hormones in your body. I also needed to be so realistic on my timeline for healing. Although I have clients clear their skin, I would say on average 2 to 6 months. For some women, it just takes longer. Especially, I dealt with almost a decade of acne. I would be a fool to think I could clear almost a decade of acne in 2 months. Some women, it's gonna take a year to 2 years, but I will tell you this, it is all worth it. I'm so glad the last time I got off birth control and spironolactone and really prioritized balancing my hormones and figuring out the root cause, I'm so glad I was resilient and stuck through that versus just running back to the easy fix. Trusting the process was so important. Waking up in the morning and not running to the mirror, freaking out about my skin, picking apart every single zit, going down these rabbit holes, that was only making my acne worse because it was stressing me out, which was causing so much more acne. So almost you have to walk this fine line of caring enough to like nourish your body, support your hormones, heal the root cause, but not caring too much where you're this ball of freaked out stress because that's gonna make your acne worse. And then my workouts also needed to chill. I am a personal trainer. In college, I was lifting about 6 days a week on top of teaching like 9 yoga classes a week. I was working out way too much. And I see this with my acne clients all the time. They're training for a marathon while their tank is on empty. They have such low hormone levels, or they're under eating, or they're a college athlete, but also in the military, but also working out 3 days a week, and they're doing way too much in the gym. Now, if you're on the flip side and you're not working out, I'm not talking to you. And it's still good to take care of your body, to lifting, like muscle helps so much with regulating your blood sugar and with stress. It's, I'm not saying not to walk and lift and work out, but I cut it back to about 3-ish, 4 days a week. I walked, I did maybe like 3-4-ish workouts a week, and it was nothing crazy. I wasn't focusing on hitting PRs. I wasn't training for races. I wasn't doing a bunch of hit and cycle and this super intense exercise. You can go back to that once your skin starts clearing. But personally, I believe it's only gonna make things worse when you need to be focusing on supporting your hormones. I could talk about acne literally forever, but I will end today's video on this, that if you are struggling with adult acne, you are not some weird anomaly. You are not some weird exception to the rule. Your body's like base healthy state is clear skin. You can get back to that. It might take time. It might take a lot of you trusting the process and being resilient through it all. But I have much faith and trust that you can clear your skin naturally. And if you're needing guidance and support, I would love to have you as a client. I will put the link to my coaching application in the description.